is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your old pal CHH. It's morning when I'm recording this. Cheers. I'm going to sip of this. Anyway, let's do slashers. I feel like I haven't done this in a while. I got a stack of slasher movie Blu-rays, and I'll just kind of go through them. And I'm sure there'll be a few in here that maybe you never heard of, or maybe you just never seen, or don't own. So let's just get right into it. If it's something I think a lot of you have, I'll go breeze right past it. But without further ado, let's start this off. Got to start off with Popcorn. This is the Synapse Blu-ray. I don't know that this is ever going to get a 4K. I think it was hard just to get the elements that they used for this. It's just marketed as a 1080p, movie. And I think it was a big, crowdfunding thing to even make this happen. But yeah, this is a great movie. Very pre-Screamish, but it has a lot of the same kind of elements. The mystery killer. And it's super, super fun. I love Popcorn to death. One of my favorite 90s horror films. If you haven't seen that, definitely going to want to. Next up, this is a awesome little charmer. This is called Doom Asylum. Yeah. Doom Asylum is, not a great movie, but it's one of those post-Elm Street kind of inspired ones with, the burnt, nasty-looking killer, as you can see. And this movie has some funny stuff in it. It has the worst band I've ever heard. They just make noise, but I think they really just couldn't afford any music or to hire anybody to make music. But it's a charmer, and it's a really fun time waster. It's a good, bad movie, if you will. This is the original artwork for it. Should still be readily available. Doom Asylum. This is a slasher, 80s slasher from Arrow Video. And it's a 2K restoration from the camera negative, so it did look really good, and the killer is pretty gross looking. So I like this movie. I watch it once a year. It's just a really fun time waster, and I don't know, I enjoy it. Next up, let's go to Hell Night, Linda Blair. Yeah. Hell Night's great. It took me a while to really come around to Hell Night because it's more than meets the eye. It's really a haunted house / slasher flick / monster flick. Slasher, no pun intended. I wouldn't mind this on 4K, to be honest with you. But Hell Night, it grew on me every single time I watch it. Now, a lot of people, they'll say, well, of course Hell Night's great. But it just took me a little time, But I do think that this is a really great 80s horror, slasher, monster flick, you name it, It's just great. So I totally recommend this. If you want the slip, you'll probably have to go on eBay. It's one of those things. It's been out for quite some time, but it's a really good slasher flick. And like I said, there's a lot more than meets the eye to this movie than just being a slasher flick. So I dig it. There's different releases of this overseas. I think 101 put it out. But yeah, definitely get your hands on that. Scream Factory did a good job on the Blu-ray. Next up, one of the best freaking movies ever, Stepfather. God, this should still be available, but it's under the Shout Factory label. This movie is incredible. Absolutely breathtakingly incredible. Good God, I love it so much. Stepfather really got me on edge watching it for the first time. It's really good. Damn, it's really good. Yeah, Stepfather is gonna... It's like one of those... It's like, oh damn, I'm watching something important. Ice Cream Man. How about Ice Cream Man, y'all? Little Clint Howard action. It's 90s. It's really cheesy. Olivia Hussey's in this. I don't know why. This is Vinegar Syndrome. You should know exactly what kind of movie this is by the sound of it. But what's cool is, I believe, yeah, you can watch the movie with the Monster Vision included. So you can watch the movie with the Clint Howard and Joe Bob Briggs stuff in between it, which I think is actually pretty cool. But I love this film. Super fun, 90s cheese crap, but I love it. Next up, Scream Factory put this out not long ago, Killer Party. Don't be sleeping on Killer Party. This is actually a really fun movie. Way more fun than I thought it was going to be. There's some great music in here. There's new interviews with the cast. I wish Scream Factory would roll out the red carpet for things like this instead. But we don't get that. We just get, we get this. But, you know what? It is what it is. But Killer Party's really fun. Big fan base for this one. There was an Anchor Bay DVD or something. Or maybe another company put it out on DVD. It might have even been Scream Factory that put it out on DVD a while ago. But I remember the DVD was all you could get. It might have been a Warner Archive DVD. But Scream Factory did put this out. You should be able to get this pretty quick. Killer Party, super fun. Great soundtrack. I believe White Sister has a couple songs in there. Next up, Prom Night. I think this might have a 4K from Kino Lorber or something, maybe. I don't remember. But it's not something I ever felt the need to upgrade, because this Blu-ray, every time I pop it on, I'm like, no, this is good enough. This is a 2K scan from the 35 negative. So I've always been happy with this Blu-ray. Prom Night, I've come around to a lot. I still think I prefer the sequels, but like Prom Night, it's just one of those movies, like once you understand the style it's going for, you kind of feel it a little bit better. And I always thought this should have been a lot faster, but it's a mood builder, and I like it. And Jamie Lee's great. So, Prom Night, that was Synapse Films, by the way, if you want that. Synapse Films should still be available. Next up, this is a sleeper. It's called Curtains. I think this is my top 10 slashers. It's got some nasty, creepy stuff in it. Really, really dark, grisly kind of slasher. There's that killer with in the snow. A great scene. And there's a scene with a toilet you'll never forget. Synapse put this out. It's got a fan base for sure. Look at that. They've had the Kindred in their Synapse catalog since 2018, and it didn't come out till like what, 2021 or something. But yeah, Curtains is great. Definitely get your hands on that, guys. You'll dig that a lot. Next up, let's go back to Synapse. Do a little Intruder. This is such a great movie. I think Charlie Band produced this. 2K scan from the original uncensored director's cut. There's a little Bruce Campbell in here. I love it. I love this movie. Scott Spiegel directed. Super fun slasher film. Super late 80s, 89 I think. You're going to love this. If you haven't seen this, you'll thank me. This is awesome. Synapse put this out. Intruder. Incredible movie. And if you don't want that, if you're not even a Blu-ray person, I believe Charlie Band has Intruder on DVD over at Full Moon. Let's go to Vinegar Syndrome. I really enjoyed this one. This was called Rush Week. Really fun late 80s slasher. Just goofy, right sensibility, you know. Had a lot of fun with this one. Almost had like some Simpsons-esque vibes in it. But a good-looking killer. Good-looking broads in this one. Just a super fun movie. And Vinegar Syndrome put out this slasher film. I got it in a slipcover. Yeah, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. Really fun. Just fun. F-U-N fun. A classic. You can get this movie on 4K if you want. I say don't. Just get the Blu-ray. That is Madman. Why? Because Madman has scenes that are out of focus a little bit. But it's a fun slasher film. It's a really fun slasher film, Madman is. I enjoy it a lot. There's creepy music in the beginning. The killer is awesome. Madman Mars. A big, brutal, monstrous slasher. Definitely, you gotta have this. You have to have this. If you're watching this and you never doing it at Vinegar Syndrome much, I highly recommend it. And you could probably get the 4K because it's still gonna come with a Blu-ray. But I highly recommend it. It's great. Psycho 3, yeah, Psycho 3. This is like the slasher film of the bunch. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Really fun. You know, it's got everything you want from an 80s slasher flick, and I think Anthony Perkins knew that, and so that's what he made. He directed it. So super fun. You'll love that. Coming up next, this came out a few years ago. I feel like it went a little bit under the radar. I'm not sure. Alone in the Dark from Scream Factory. This was a slasher film that, you know, people have been clamoring on for a long time to get on Blu-ray, and it's here. In case you didn't know, Alone in the Dark. This came out a year or so ago. Your boy's in it, Donald Pleasance. I like this film. It's a little darker and moodier than you might expect from a slasher film, but I have a good time at this one, and Jack Palance is in it. Jack freaking Palance is in a slasher flick. So definitely get your hands on this one from Scream Factory. And there's a great Jack Shoulder interview on here. So yeah, Alone in the Dark, guys. Coming up next, this just came out, Dr. Giggles. Don't sleep on Dr. Giggles. This one does not look incredible. It actually doesn't even look a whole lot better than the German Blu-ray that I had. But it still looks like a Blu-ray, don't get me wrong. But I was hoping this was going to look a whole lot better, but it doesn't. I think it's just a matter of what elements they could have. But Dr. Giggles speaks for itself. Incredibly fun 90s slasher film about a doctor. The Prowler. Tom Savini did some of his best work on here. He did some great stuff on The Prowler. Joe Zito directed. This has no 4K in sight, so that's why I'm like, let's talk about The Prowler. Blowing it around. Like this movie. Coming up next, go to your used video stores and try to find this, guys. I love this more than the original. My Bloody Valentine 3D on Blu-ray. I love, love, love this movie so much, passionately. Look, I even still got the 3D glasses in here. Shout out to my buddy Kyle who hooked me up with this. Yeah, you can get this on DVD, but if you can find the Blu-ray, go for it. I love this movie so much. I just check for it. I love it so much. Let's go back to Vinegar Syndrome. Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse is awesome. Really gritty, gross, farming style, you know, slasher film from '87. But I remember liking it a lot. And the cover art really sucked me in. Buddy has an axe to grind, a big axe. Really fun slasher film. I like this one. That's a safe title from Vinegar Syndrome, if you ask my opinion, to get. Let's go to Arrow Video with The Slayer, y'all. The Slayer is it's interesting. It's extremely well made. It's glossy. It looks nice. It looks like it was made with, you know, a healthy budget, good acting, really good acting, but it's a slow burn. So it's kind of like a trade-off, but it's really, really moody. And I'm a big fan of The Slayer. 4K scan from the original camera negative, too, so it looks really great. If this got a 4K, I'd upgrade, because I like it that much. But it is a little bit of a slow burn. Just keep that in mind. I really don't like that title, because to me, movies are either interesting or not. And I find it interesting, but for the sake of argument, I will say that it is, quote-unquote, a slow burn. But I'm a real big fan of The Slayer. I mean, do I say more? Look at that. Do I say more? The Slayer, y'all. Don't sleep on The Slayer. Go get it from Arrow Video. You guys will be happy about that. Next up, Edge of an Axe. Shit. Edge of the Axe. And I always say it wrong. Edge of an Axe. Edge of the Axe. This came out. I hadn't heard of it before. Didn't know what to expect. Kicked my ass. Different. A lot of different elements taken with this one. Super energetic. They actually use, in some scenes, a prop axe. So they physically are hitting people in the movie. And you feel it like no other. So a lot of times I'll have prosthetic makeup on somebody, and they'll cut with a hard axe to something else. But in this one, there's a few scenes where like the killer has like a prop axe, and they're really swinging at people, and you feel it. And it's actually really effective. Big fan of this 2K scan from the original camera negative. Love this movie. This was '87, so Edge of the Axe is awesome. I can't recommend it enough. I think if you're gonna get a slasher film from Arrow Video, this is the one. So definitely let this jump to the top of the list. Edge of the Axe. Love it to death. Let's go to Alice, Sweet Alice. Let's go to a little 70s. Now this is one of the better titles from the 70s. Period. Incredible film. I really love it. The less said, the best said about this, because I don't want to spoil anything, but extremely well-made movie. Creepy as hell. 1976. Great reputation, great title. Alice, Sweet Alice. Don't sleep on that. Let's do a little Thanksgiving love. People have asked to buy this from me. This is my Blood Rage I have with the slip. I guess it's, sought after now to get with the slip. But this is a great holiday horror slasher, and it's actually just a great slasher. It's one of the better ones. This cranberry, it's not cranberry sauce. I forgot the alternate title of this movie. What is it called? The alternate title of this is Nightmare at Shadow Woods. But yeah, great movie. Blood Rage. I love it to death. Don't sleep on that. And last but certainly not least, let's do a little 90s. I have the 4K version and the Blu-ray version, but I'm just pulling out the 4K version. I think I gave away my Blu-ray version. Uncle Sam. Little 90s slasher fun. Who directed this? Was this, William Lustig. If you can get the 4K, get the 4K, because look at that. It looks incredible, too, but I love this film. It's like Jack Frost, except it's Uncle Sam. Super fun. Super duper fun. That's why I saved it for last. So if you can get the 4K, get this. If not, the Blu-ray's readily available from Blue Underground, too, just with not as cool of a cover. But there it is, guys. Slasher films on Blu-ray. I tried to pick out some deeper cuts for you guys to check out. If you have any questions about those, let me know. A lot of those movies are so fun. You guys are going to be really happy with those. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. This is your good old pal, CHH. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not. Drop a comment below and put a like on this video. I'd really appreciate it. Love you guys. Take care. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons. Peace.